Hey guys, welcome to Business Success Stories here, a new series we're running on our channel here on the Humble Penny. Today we've got an exciting guest, Alexis. Hi Alexis.
Hello.
Do you want to tell everybody what U-Cycle Sync is and what inspired you to actually start it?
Yeah, so U-Cycle Sync is on a mission to close the data gap in women's healthcare. We started off with an app called U-Cycle Sync. It's available on the Android and iOS platforms, and it's about helping menstruators have a symptom-free menstrual cycle. So I used to suffer from period pain, and my doctors told me, go on the pill, which will take away my period, or have prescribed painkillers. And I was like, that's 30 years worth of pills that you're asking me to do. And I was like, there's no other option? He was like, no, there's no other. I was like, there has to be. So I started doing some research and lots of reading, and I found there's a natural way to eliminate cramps. Like, I no longer suffer from cramps, and this was back in 2017. And I was just like, so why is this not available? Why isn't they told that, lifestyle can really help you get rid of symptoms like this? And so, yeah, that's where the inspiration came from. And I started off with a blog, and now it's an app that gives you nutrition, exercise, and task management recommendations to help you get to a symptom-free menstrual cycle.
So you are cramp-free. You don't suffer from any more pain.
From cramps. I do have lower back pain, because I have a history of fibroids in my family, which I'm trying to work on with my lifestyle to eliminate that as well.
That's amazing. So tell us, Alexis, what sacrifices have you had to make to get started in this business?
I've made a few sacrifices, actually a lot. The main ones are where I live. So I used to live on my own, and I love my own company. I'm an introverted person.
And you were very central, weren't you?
Yes, and I also lived very central, and I had a great job, which I actually really liked. So I had to give up my apartment to be able to move in with my auntie, because it was like I was paying less rent, and I could live for a year without having to think about money, and I could just focus straight on the business. The second part is travel. Like, I absolutely love to travel. Before the pandemic, before all of that, I definitely went on at least 2 holidays a year since I graduated. And now what can I say? I have a bicycle that I cycle around the area with. That is my holiday. And the other sacrifice, I guess, it's just the opportunity cost of not working on other things, of not earning money, not investing as much as I want to at this particular point, because all my money has gone into funding my life for me to work on this company.
Because you want a decent salary. What were you earning before?
I was earning 44K as a data analyst consultant at one of the big fours. And yeah, it was a great life. Plus, I also had my accommodation paid for. I had my food paid for.
Wow. Okay.
I did not really have that much worries. I'm not going to lie.
So one of the big reasons why a lot of people don't start businesses is because they are concerned about how much it costs to start a business. How much did it actually cost you to start this business, and how did you raise that money?
The first thing I did was to start blogging, and that was a £200 blogging course that I bought to get me started. And then I paid for a website, which was about another £200 or so, so £400 to begin with the blogging part of it. With the app development, I was able to learn from Udemy for free because of where I worked, offered that. But the course itself could have been just about £80 if you were going to spend it, and it was a 2 months course or something like that to do. And then I think overall I spent less than 600, if we're going to be accurate, just in terms of buying everything I needed to do the blogging, as well as to start learning how to make apps.
Right. So rather than kind of get somebody to create an app for you, you actually learned how to code.
The learning that you learn when you do study engineering, it's about how you solve problems, how you break things down, and so I could transfer that into software, and it cost over 10 to 15,000 to hire someone to create the app. And then I've made many changes since I built the initial app, so the bills would have racked up, and the ego person in me was just I cannot be spending that kind of money with that, and it didn't make any sense. So it was more economical for me to take a sabbatical. I guess if you think about the cost of taking 6 months off and not getting paid, take a sabbatical, learn to make apps, and then build it myself.
Got it.
Awesome. She built her own app, guys. I love the way she said it so casually. She actually learned to build her own app. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, you can. Like, there's so many courses. There's a School of YouTube. There's Udemy. Coursera. There's just so many things that you can like start today and like go on YouTube and like you can do a 2-hour course on like how to build an app and you can get started right now.
Wow.
After this.
So tell us, Alexis, what have you enjoyed the most about running your own business?
It is waking up in the morning and being able to have control over what you do. There's a lot of freedom, which I guess you get both from the standpoint. I love problem solving. Like, I love the work I do. I love the problem I'm solving. There's a huge data gap in women's healthcare, and being a black woman as well, Nigerian women, fibroids is something that a lot of Nigerian women suffer from. All the women in my family have fibroids. And so I'm like, at the moment, if you Google what causes fibroids, they're like, the causes are known. And I'm just like, but we can fly to the moon. We can do all of these things. We can, I studied a lot of aerospace materials. The work we were doing were very difficult problems, and you're telling me that the problem of why so many, black women are suffering from fibroids is something that's unknown. It doesn't make sense. So there's a huge data gap that needs to be filled, and I'm looking forward to filling that gap. It's an exciting journey. So the whole premise of the app is to deal with hormonal imbalance, which comes from not having the right nutrients and your lifestyle just not supporting the cyclical body. So a lot of the way, I guess, most viewers will understand this, like, we wake up in the morning, we have our afternoons, we have our evenings, we follow this like 24-hour cycle, and we think that this 24-hour cycle is the only cycle that we have. But if you're a menstruating woman, you have an additional cycle. You have, a 28, for me it's a 29-day cycle, which we do not support as a society. And that kind of, it causes a lot of tension in the body, which manifests itself in symptoms like cramps, because the nutritional guides that we have at the moment, the lifestyle guides, the working guides are not supporting this secondary cycle that we have. So what the app is doing is we are having to relearn how to support our body as menstruating women, and it provides you with nutritional, it provides you with exercise, it provides you with task management recommendations to really help you support your body so you don't have these symptoms. Because when you have cramps, when you have cravings for things like chocolate, your body telling you, I don't have enough magnesium, for example. There is always a reason, there's a root cause behind why we suffer from symptoms. So the app is really focused on addressing those symptoms.
Okay, so you've done the job of actually starting a business. What are the 3 most important tools you use to run or market your business so that it can grow?
Apart from the tools I use to actually code, I think the main ones are Canva. So all the designs on Instagram, on my LinkedIn, all of that comes from Canva. Like, I love it. I don't know what I would do without Canva. The second one is Google. So I use the entire G Suite facilities, from Google Drive, from Google Calendar, to my back end for the app. All of that is Google. And lastly, Calendly, which helps me it's just the assistant, that I've always needed. It helps making meetings so much easier.
So tell us, what is the secret sauce to your success so far?
Secret sauce. I think the key thing is really showing up for yourself. So just getting up every day, figuring out how do you want to show up for yourself. So for me, it has been showing up to learn to code, having to move from physical engineering to software engineering. It's showing up every day to fix the bugs that are happening on the code. It's to continue to develop, to continue to talk to customers, to continue to improve the app. At the moment we have a free version, but I also have a version that I sell to workplaces as part of their wellbeing courses, and there's going to be a new B2C subscription, a monthly subscription that you can get towards the end of the month. So it's showing up to continuously improve the app, and nothing is ever done. It's just this continuous process. And the second is I love the way I think. It can sound, I don't know how it sounds, but I do love my mind, and it's taken a lot of years of training from my physics classes, which I loved. I loved physics. I love maths. To study engineering, you really learn how to solve problems, and you learn that systems were built. Apart from our natural systems, everything else was built by someone thinking about it and then developing it. So everything, so you can build new things, and nothing is ever done. I enjoy that I have a brain that can think through your problem.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, what have been the most challenging aspects of actually running your own business?
I think it's the many aspects of the business. The business is not just coding. I wish it was just making the app and talking to people about the app. But it's about working with other people. It's about bringing different ideas together. It's about marketing. It's about going to meetings. It's about selling. So many components, so many hats to where I guess you guys can completely understand.
Totally.
Because I can imagine that YouTube is not just sitting down, you recording. There's so many other aspects towards it, and it's balancing that.
I presume your hope anyway is to have a team as time
Absolutely.
passes.
So it's either finding a new co-founder to work with me, or going for funding, or actually just building enough money from the subscription packages that we're going to be having to be able to hire people.
Right.
But definitely need a team, a team to do all of this stuff. Yeah.
So if you could start your business all over again, what would you do differently?
I would start earlier. Because I have a tendency to think a lot. I kept trying. I think we grew up in a world where we focus on qualifications. Like, you have to get your GCSEs to do A-levels. You have to go a degree to have this
get
job.
a PhD.
Other steps that I need to have.
What are 8 steps?
Give me the formula. So when I come out of that, school of entrepreneurship, I'll come out with a business. Well, it doesn't work that way. You kind of have to learn as you go. I did not plan for any of this, but you just go day to day.
What role did blogging play in actually getting you to where you are? Because that resonated with us actually on our journey, how we started out. Because we didn't know what problem we wanted to solve. We knew we wanted to teach people about their money, but we needed to start writing to begin to almost put to words our thoughts, and out of that almost validated our idea.
I always knew what the problem was. The problem I was trying to solve was symptoms. I wanted to get rid of symptoms. How I was going to get rid of the symptoms, I didn't quite know. I think blogging for me helped me just talk about my own experience. So I was suffering from cramps when I was last year of uni. I kind of needed a tool to journey my way through what I was doing. So the books I was reading, the changes I was making with my diet, to get me to a point where I no longer suffer from cramps. And it's been 3 years of being cramp free, and I can't imagine, I don't know, talk to 5 years ago, I couldn't imagine not being in pain every single month, but now I'm not. I think I needed blogging to kind of help me talk through that journey, get other people also interested in what I was doing, and then have them ask me questions. And I think it was when people were asking me questions like, how do I adopt the changes that you've made to my life, that I then found what I was going to build. That's when the solution became clear to me. If I didn't do that blogging, I wouldn't have had the time to really think through the solution properly, and have other people, help me create the solution. Because it's not just you sitting in a dark room. People think you're coding.
Coming up with a solution.
It's all you. No one else has an external feeling.
So when did you start building the app?
So I started learning to make apps in April of 2020.
Okay.
And I learned for a bit. So this was my time in my sabbatical. I think I started actually making the first MVP, this first version of the app in, I would say, June. And I think I finished it. It was a very simple app. It was a grocery list app that helped you eat to support each of the 4 stages of your cycle. I must have finished it in July or early August, but I actually didn't submit it till September because I was embarrassed by the app. I was a bit shy because I was just I'm not a nutritionist.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes, that's the word. Absolutely, imposter syndrome. And I sat on that app for a good month and a bit. And then I went back to work. And I think going back to work, and I was just I don't want to. I enjoy my job, but this wasn't it. I already found it. And I was just you know what it is, so go and do it. So I think it took till September for me to actually launch the app last year, and then I've made 2 iterations since then. The first app was initially just for iOS users, because that's a language I could code in. And then in February from December I learned a new language, and then February I created the Android and iOS version, and then I just end of June was when I released the latest version of the app, which is far more beautiful than the first version.
And then you quit your job in December.
Yes. So it was all about money really when I was quitting my job. So I had saved enough in my time before I took a 6-month sabbatical. From November of 2019, I took a sabbatical, and the whole idea was to never go back to work, to figure things out, to travel. I was meant to be a nomad, a digital nomad. So I went to Nigeria for 6 weeks. I went to Ghana for 3 weeks. I went to Rwanda for a month. And I ended up spending most of my money in that travel time. I basically needed more money come the end of my sabbatical. I couldn't actually just not go back to work, so I had to. So I was like, okay, if I do this for 6 months, so if I move with my auntie, if I reduce my lifestyle and reduce my expenses, I could save. I think I was saving about 60% of my salary, and save enough to actually take this whole 18 months. 14 months worth of time off to build the app, continue and figure out how to make it sustainable, and so I can pay myself and not have to go back to a job. I guess.
Super inspirational. I mean, from when you had the idea in 2017 to when you finally executed it, it wasn't that long. A lot of people have been sitting on their ideas for years, so you've done very well.
Thank you. To me, it feels like a long time, because I was just like, I'm 26. Hurry up, figure your life out. But I guess it's a process. Everyone's on their own personal journey, and this is just the time scale for my own journey.
Well, we look forward to hearing more about your successes in the future as this product starts to evolve and solve real problems for people. Actually, people starting to use it and see results from doing it. So it's been an amazing interview today. So thank you for joining us on this series. It's been fantastic, guys. If you really enjoyed today's video, we'd love you to show some love by hitting that like button, and share this video with one other person who you think might find it inspiring and take value from it, and check out the amazing products that Alexis has created to help many women out there. Thanks again for watching today's video, guys.
Thank you, guys. And as ever,
in all things, be thankful and seek joy.
Take care.
Take care, people.
Bye.
Bye.